Hey, what are you doing here?
Can I have Geeky back?
No, you cannot.
Oh, come on, man. I need this. I've got everything covered except goal scoring.
Really? Do you really?
Oh, shut up.
Dude, you let this guy walk. There's no giving him back.
I know, okay? Look, there's no way that he could keep doing this, right? So let me take that risk on. Save you from yourself.
Yeah, I've been saying that same thing for over a year, and literally thousands of people mock me for it.
Well, it is nice to hear that someone's bullying you. So what, I'm just supposed to walk away?
You should. But, against my better judgment, there is something that I can tell you.
Wait, something that could help?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so, but you've got to promise me that this stays between us, okay?
Okay, yeah, you and me, yeah. What's up?
All right. Thanks for Geeky, idiot. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, that is a dub. It is 2 a.m. Do I look tired? What a win. What a necessary win. What a needed win. What a beautiful win. What a frustrating win. There's so much to unpack here. Not about the game itself, because there were huge stretches of play that were just kind of back and forth without anything to actually take notes on. A defensive battle for sure, but still a lot of weird puck moments in front of the net. A lot of scrambling from Swayman's. One of Swayman's best performances of the year, I thought. Just a tremendous, tremendous game for a team that really, God, they just needed these 2 points. You know, they just needed it. And we're gonna talk a little bit about the end of the game, or the end of the third period, I should say, and just some of the frustrations that went along with that, that followed a certain trend. But at the end of the day, they bounce back, they get the win, they get the 2 points. Any win, any 2 points you can get while you're missing as many players as we are is important. You just want to stay in the picture right now, especially when this is more of a game note, but when the replacements for the injured players are actively creating bad scenarios for the Bruins on ice, it kind of reaffirms your stance of like, this team's good, but it needs to be healthy, right? Like, these guys are really dragging down certain portions of the team, and I don't want to put too much weight on them, because they're literally stepping into roles that it's going to take some time to build chemistry. It takes time to learn the system, but it's very clear how much of a downgrade the Bruins are facing while they're missing a few of these guys, even with some of them not being my favorites. Like I don't love Middlestat. I would still prefer him over Blue Mel pretty heavily right now. But we'll talk in more detail later in the video about that. Let's talk about this Kings team a little bit. First meeting of the year with them. This team doesn't feel all that different from years past. I want to know if you'll like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. No, I want to know how Kings fans feel. And don't throw it back in my face with what about the Bruins. I know where the Bruins stand, all right? You don't have to do that to me. But I'm curious, from a Kings fan's perspective, how you feel about where this team is heading. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10. They rank 27th in the power play, 15th in the penalty kill, 26th in goals for per game, and 6th in goals allowed per game. Once again, it's a defense-first approach, which is fine. They've built the kind of their whole system around that the past few years, actually for longer than that. It is kind of a cross your fingers and pray that your offense can get you somewhere, especially when your goaltending hasn't been a world beater. I mean, Kemper's been fine for them, just like Swayman's been fine for us. And I bet that Kings fans would make the argument that Kemper's been better than his save percentage shows, just like I would argue Swayman's been better than his save percentage shows. Kemper is 7-4-3 in his 14 games with a .904 save percentage and a 2.42 goals allowed average. Forsberg, as the backup, has been rough. An .888 save percentage, which is a lot higher than Korpisalo's, but I didn't need to say that. I don't want to make that point, so we're going to ignore it. They are currently missing Drew Doughty for the next few weeks with a lower body injury, which is obviously a big blow. But I really do want to know. I want to know where Kings fans see this team going, because the last few years you have lost to the Oilers in the first round. It's like, what, 4 years in a row now? That's fine when you consider that the Oilers have gone to the finals for 2 years straight and have been a very good team for a while and have two of the top 5 players in the world on their team. There's plenty of reason to go, oh yeah, I mean, we keep running into a buzzsaw. But it's hard to see this team competing with any of the teams at the top of the West. We have seen teams obviously get hot or have goaltending that carries them through, but I just wonder where their heads are at, because it's definitely not a young team, although it has some young talent on it. A lot of these guys have decent contracts. They'll be sticking around for a while. I guess I wonder, is there a best case scenario where this team wins a cup? And is that being considered by the fan base? And again, you could throw that back in my face, because I honestly don't have an answer for that from a Bruins perspective. Is there a best case scenario where this current team could win a cup? I don't know. I want to believe yes. I want to believe it. So I will. That's how that works. That's faith, brother. But, yeah. I would like an actual nuanced conversation about the Kings. I am a Kings hater, too, though, so, that's well documented at this point. Don't give me any grace on that. The Bruins are going to have an interesting lineup for this. Blumel, Zacha, Pasta, Steves, Kuzi, Geeky, Janot, Minton, Kostelik, Tufty, Corelli, Asamont, Zadorov, Astro, Hampus, Jokiharju, Lorai, Peak, Swayman. Those lines are going to get shuffled a lot in this game. I wouldn't take all that much stock in that outside of that's what Sturm wanted to roll with. I hate it, by the way. Blumel on the top line doesn't make any sense to me at all. I understand reuniting Zacha and Pasta in this one, especially with the way the last game went. But, I don't know. Didn't like this. I think Sturm deserves the benefit of the doubt right now. I know the team's like 12-10 or whatever the record is, but I've been wildly impressed with Sturm. I think he's pressing a lot of the right buttons, so it makes it easier for me to go like, hey, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to default to that, and then I'm going to criticize it as it happens if it doesn't work out, because I get to benefit from hindsight, because I don't get paid millions of dollars to do this. Wouldn't that be neat, though? McAvoy, Elias, Harris, Arvidsson, and Middlestat are all still out. Elias does appear to be right around the corner to be coming back, and now that Kuzi's getting shifted around the lineup, and a little bit of the faith in the geeky Kuzi Pasta line has been shaken, my assumption is we will go back to having Elias on the top line, which honestly was probably going to happen the whole time, but I was enjoying Kuzi on that top line with first puck retrieval so much that I didn't want to see it broken up. At this point, though, it does feel inevitable. Let's talk about this game, shall we? Puck drops! I have so few notes about the first and second period. I seriously do. I have an interference on Corey Perry that happens about 6.5 minutes into the first period. We go to the power play. The Kings' penalty kill is super aggressive, and I don't think the Bruins have faced enough of that this year to be comfortable against it and never got anything going. About 9:29 in, Corrali's going to go for holding. We're going to go to the penalty kill. With 1:11 left of that penalty kill, Peak is going to go for high sticking, so it's going to be 5v3 for 1:11, and then another 49 seconds of 5-on-4 to kill. Swayman and the boys do gut that out. I'm getting real sick of this team taking penalties while on the penalty kill, and this is like a whiny fan thing, and I understand that. Why does it feel like every team we play, whenever they commit a penalty while we're on the power play, I mean, they're not going to call it. We're not going to get a 5-on-3 too often, and yet everything gets called on us? Now, the reason this is a whiny fan take is because it was a penalty. Peak high stick the guy. That absolutely should have gotten called. So, like, what am I actually complaining about? I just wish it was a little more even. And this game frustrated me because the refs were not even. And yes, you could point to the power play totals and be like, well, obviously they weren't even. But I don't always like to do that because sometimes a team takes a lot more penalties. The Bruins just couldn't buy a call for huge stretches of this game. A lot of slashing, a lot of hooking, just defensive battle, let them play. But it is what it is. So obviously, like, I can't look at this game and be like the refs had a huge effect on it, especially with the way the Bruins kind of screwed this one up. But still came back and won it. We're still positive vibes here. They're just muted positive vibes. Second period starts, 6:52 in. Fast-paced period so far. Corrali for tripping. We're going to the penalty kill. He also gets a 10-minute misconduct for something. I think he said something. I don't know. Insulted the ref's wife. I don't know. I don't know why I jumped to that. So he's going to get the 10-minute misconduct. He'll come back later in the game. It was what it was. We killed it. 4 minutes left of that period. Huznadinov with a great heads-up play from our zone. Throws a knuckler up the ice on net because he sees that Tufty has a step on the defense. Kemper can't swallow it because it is bouncing. And the rebound is going to come right back up the slot for Tufty, who tries to chip this blocker side, posting out. I want to say we hit 5 posts in this game. One of those went in. I think that's where we landed. Give or take. We're going to go to third period. It's 0-0. Win the period, win the game. The problem is, the Bruins have not been stellar at either holding leads late in the game or, working through a tie and winning it late in the game. We've actually blown a lot of ties late in the third period. 3:59 in. Steves is going to go for tripping. We're going to the penalty kill. We kill it and put some pressure on during the penalty kill. We have a 2-on-1 that gets stopped by Kemper. A shot, blocker side by Zadorov, I believe. 8:01 in. The Bruins are continuing to put together intense forechecking shifts. Now, there were stretches of this game that were pure Bruins. It was wave after wave, pinning them in their zone. Their structure was really solid, so it was difficult to actually get scoring chances out of this, but a lot of time spent in their zone. There are also stretches of the game where the Bruins are scrambling in their own zone, and Swayman is on his head, on his knees, on his elbows, like all over the place, just trying to keep the puck out. So the final numbers, I think, work out to show that, the Kings probably should have won this game. I don't know. These shifts were so tightly fought that this game really could have gone either way, I think. Either way, we're putting together another one of those shifts where we're just pinning them in. Huznadinov is dogging Kempe through the center of their own zone and pushes this play onto the blocker side wall. The puck does get cleared out, but Zadorov collects it, and he sees Steves waiting on the opposite side of the blue line. Quick feed to him. Steves is going to take the zone. Huznadinov drives the net, causing the defense to back up. We talk about this a lot. If you don't have that force driving the net, the defense gets to stay a little higher. They get to prevent any of these chances. But because Huznadinov makes that sprint, the defense settles back just enough so Geeky could open space at the top of the slot. Steves pushes the puck over there. An absolute sniper Rooney and jeez! High blocker side. It's 1-0. And I feel really good, right? I feel really, really good. Tightly fought game. Yeah, you get a little nervous because the Bruins have, in the past couple of years, been culprits of giving a goal up right after scoring one, especially an important one. But I felt good. This team just feels a little different this year. But not that different. We go up a goal. 10:14 left of the period. Aspero's going to go for tripping. It's a really bad call. Made more frustrating by just all of the missed stuff the Bruins have had to deal with this game. It's a gutsy kill. I felt fine. And then with 7:53 left of the game, Pasta gets tripped by Fiala. I'm a bad fan, guys. I'm a bad fan. Because I sat there and went, fuck. You knew it. I'm not alone in this. You can pretend that this is a me thing. I'm not alone. You sat there and went, I know I was complaining about not getting the calls, but I would have preferred this stay even strength through the end of this one. Because inevitably, the Bruins get on the power play. And this isn't me being like, oh, revisionist, I can do this whole stance now. I knew it was going to happen. I did sit there going like, oh no, this is bad. So, so predictable. We are about a minute into the power play. The Kings already have the only scoring chance of the power play. Byfield came down the ice on a 1-on-1 with Hampus. Hampus snuffs it out. So maybe not really considered a scoring chance, but a little nervous. Again, a very aggressive penalty kill. Puck gets back into their zone. Blumel has it or is chasing it down the glove side wall. But he's not paid attention. He has no idea where his teammates are, and he has no idea where the defense is because he just tries to chuck this right back up the wall to the point, and it gets quickly deflected by Dumoulin, who's right there. That was either going to deflect off of Dumoulin or just get accepted by him. You've turned it over. You've purely lost possession. because you weren't paying attention to where you were and to who was on the ice. So this actually leads to a break up the ice for a 2-on-1. Dumoulin, it gets deflected over to Trevor Moore, who's going to break the 2-on-1 with Armia on his right. Hampus, this pissed me off. We talk about 2-on-1s a lot of this channel. Hampus takes the pass. Swayman, you got to make the save. When you take the pass, your responsibility is to make sure that the pass doesn't get through and that the player that they could pass to doesn't get to clean up an easy rebound. Well, he got the first part right. Shot, low glove, kicked out. Armia gets the rebound and throws it into the net. Hampus doesn't eliminate the threat. That stuff pisses me off, man. Like, you're tell your goaltender, make the save. All right, well, that means if I make the save, you better get this puck the fuck out. Hampus has been great this year. He's been arguably our best defenseman. There are little moments. No player is perfect. Pasta has bad games. Like, this wasn't even a bad game by Hampus. This was a really frustrating play. So it's a shorthanded goal. It's 1-1. This is how bad of a fan I am. I did kind of expect them to finish this in regulation. I kind of expected the Kings to just get a bouncer, something stupid to go in the net. And that was just me being a little negative Nancy. Probably from sleep deprivation. Because I didn't even get a lot of sleep last night either. We're going to go to overtime. It's back and forth. The Bruins do control most of the possession. It is going to end with a long Zadorov pass up to Pasta on the left wall. He's going to feed Geeked on his right, and Geeked is going to slam this sniper cheese top blocker corner. And it's 2-1. And Geeked is tied for with Nathan MacKinnon for top of the league in goals scored. He's on pace for over 50 goals. And I sat there and went, oh my gosh, this is getting insane. This is getting insane. Like, I believe in Geeked now, obviously. How could I not when you keep shoving it down my throat like that? But this is crazy. How did he turn into one of the most accurate scorers of the league? Like, no one, I don't care how much you love Geeked, to say that he's going to match shooting percentages with Draisaitl and McDavid and McKinnon and for some reason Kiefer Sherwood, like, for over a year, there's no way you could possibly expect that level of ability. And he's doing that. He's shooting 25% right now, which I think I have to retire his shooting percentage is unsustainable because it's been over a year. Well, I guess it was back half of last season, but still a year. It's been a year of him doing this. I just got to start respecting it. I need to keep insulting him too, though, in fear that he'll stop doing it. So Geeked sucks. He's a loser. I hate having him on the Bruins. He's a big dummy face. So, you're welcome. I do want to talk about a couple of game notes here. First of all, the injuries are becoming very obvious. And I'm sure they've been obvious, of course. But next man up, you try to give grace. You try to give time, especially in a system like this. We've talked about the difficulty integrating yourself into this. And it just takes time. It takes shifts. It takes reps. You're trying to build chemistry. Aspero is being depended on in a massive way. And it's above his station. And it looks like it's above his station. He's not been stellar. I would argue that Yoki Haru's almost been worse through this stretch. But Aspero it's just very clearly such a massive downgrade from McAvoy. What? No, I know I'm saying the obvious. But it becomes more glaring in these really tight games that you're like, God, I really wish we had McAvoy on the ice for this stuff. Same thing goes for Blue Mel, who's been, I thought through a period and a half-ish, he actually was having a nice little bounce back. He was a mess in the third. And the turnovers, I know someone actually, I can't remember who, they commented about, like, someone wasn't credited with, it might have been Blue Mel, I can't remember who I criticized last video about this, but they weren't credited with any turnovers, but I don't really trust the way that they talk about giveaways. And I know that's a me thing, like, oh, I'm just going to ignore the stat. I have watched games where Pasternak has turned the puck over blatantly like 9 times. And he's credited with 1 giveaway. I don't know how they calculate them. I don't know how they track them, but it's not good. It's not very helpful, I don't think. Blumel, turnover machine. It was just a really rough night for him in the third. And he's had a rough couple of nights before that. It becomes really glaring when you have a player on the ice that the other team just gets to attack over and over again. And Blumel's great because he'll go straight to the net. He'll fire the puck from anywhere. Like, you want pucks to the net. You want a guy who's not afraid of inside ice. Great. But he's an active detriment to the team at this time. I'm hoping for a bounce-back game. Like, we're going to have to rely on the guy. And I don't want to be too critical of him because, again, he's stepping into a position that you're just trying to stay in the lineup at this point, and you're trying to do anything. What I want to turn this into is a compliment for Tufty and Steves, who I feel like deserve a lot of credit, not because of these stellar plays they're making, which they are playing really well, but it's about making the simple play that gives your team the best opportunity to succeed. Steves is laying out for blocks. He's doing everything defensively that he's capable of doing. Is he an incredible defender? I don't think so. But he's pure effort. He's not taking a ton of penalties, and he's getting in the way. And then on the other end of the ice, he's looking for his line mates. He's trying to play within the system. He's mixing it up on the boards. He's keeping it simple, and it's highly effective, and he deserves a ton of credit for that because he's stepping into a top six that's really reliant on him just being a positive impact. You don't have to be a world beater. You let Pasta, you let Geeked do that kind of stuff. You let Zaka make those plays. But get in there, make the right pass, minimize mistakes, and allow the team's structure to carry you through the game. Same with Tufty. I thought his effort was off the charts. I thought his board battles were brilliant. I thought he was finding his teammates properly, and again, not afraid of inside ice. Is Tufty this crazy skilled player that's going to transform his team? No. But he minimized his mistakes, and he made sure the structure of the Bruins could help carry him through. When you're having these conversations about these guys, you look at Aspero and you look at Blumel and you go, that's not something you guys are succeeding at. Now, Aspero deserves more grace because you truly are putting him in a top pairing position in a very difficult defensive setting. It's a whole different world. I feel rude even kind of coming down on him. We know that he's going to struggle in a position like this. But the injuries just become really, really evident in these closely fought games. So I'm just hoping we can get healthy soon. Huge 2 points. Just massive. Lohrei, I want to talk about too. He's not getting it. I love Lohrei. I love his offensive upside. I love his creativity. He looks cool as fuck when he goes around somebody. Like, huge fan of the stuff he does right. But tonight, even in a game where I didn't think he was bad, the risks he took on the offensive blue line as the last man back or one of two on the back end to try to go around the player, which he succeeded in multiple times. But if that's a turnover, that's a back-breaking potential goal in a game that's 0-0 and tightly fought for space. Read the room. There are times to make plays like that. You're down 2 goals? Yes, I totally get it. A 0-0 game, you're the last man back, you've got a forward sprinting at you while you're standing on the blue line, and you try to dipsy-do him, you screw that up, that's a breakaway the other way, and the whole team's looking at you going, what are we working so hard for, man? If you're going to do that shit. He's lucky he succeeded in all of these. I want to compliment a guy for being creative and beating his guy one-on-one, but that's a risk that's just not necessary. Make better decisions. You can't... It was poor puck management in his own zone through a couple shifts as well, but you can't take these hugely risky plays with minimal upside that the downside is massive, especially in a game like this. He needs to start realizing that, because I'm fairly certain that Sturm's watching that going, cool, man, but I don't like it. Not to be like, you know, that lame guy, that coach like Torts, where I just go, no, it has to be, you have to do the right thing all the time. And that's not what I mean. I don't want to like constrict these players and take away the things they do well. But you have to pick your moments. You can't just do this whenever you feel like. And so as much as I've really enjoyed Lohrei being back in the lineup, and his offensive upside is so truly there, pick your spots better, man, or else they're going to take you out of the lineup. If we were healthy right now, I literally think after this game they would take him out of the lineup and be like, stop doing this crazy shit, man. Because you could have cost us that game just so that you could go around one player and there's still 4 in front of you, a forest of trees. You don't even have a shot on net. You didn't even create an odd man situation, truly, because the guy just came right back in, and by the time you could make a play, it's just back down the boards again. Pick your spots. You gotta pick your spots better. I hate ending this on a negative note. I shouldn't. Let's just say this again. Geeky is on pace for over 50 goals. Go Bees. Go Bees! Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video and joining me as we experience this crazy Bruins season together. The names popping up on your screen now are from the top line tier and the all-star tier of the YouTube membership program for this YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you who help support the channel so that we can do more fun things, and I am always open to more ideas of how I can help give back to those who support the channel. At the end of the day, this channel is always going to be about the community, and I want to continue to grow that way, so please always feel free to reach out with new ideas and fun ways we can expand on this, or if you just need someone to talk to, I'm always here for you guys. Thank you all for your support, and as always, go Bees!